Within the first few minutes of Suicide Squad, we encountered this horrifying scene.
To this handsome hunka. You belong to him now.
You want me?
I don't want no beef. You don't want no beef?
It was at this moment I knew something was terribly and disturbingly wrong. What, is the Joker a pimp now? Nothing in this scene made any sense, and it was obviously just used as shock value or trying to sexualize the Joker and Harley and also show how unpredictable they can be. But instead of achieving any of that, they only achieved in showing what a terrible movie we were in for. The number one rule of introducing a movie villain is you never introduce them with a montage. You need to build your antagonist up. Just because it's the Joker doesn't mean you get a pass on that. You need to feel scared or horrified and worried. When I saw this,
Are you sweet talking me?
I busted out laughing. I had secondhand embarrassment. How did Leto not notice that he had nothing to do in this movie except stand around and look like he's ready to shoot a magazine cover or film a music video? That's seriously all this was. I think the music video was more critically acclaimed than the actual performance and movie. I mean, I know I liked it more, but I technically still hated it, and it was awful and stupid and a disgrace to the Joker property. Hey, just like the movie.
For my wrongs, I have just begun. Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy.
I think there was a weird kid in my high school that used to do something like this. He would sit in the back of class and generally just weird everyone out. And that's all that's happening in the scene. I mean, are you telling me that the Joker just sits around his house doing this? That's so weird. I'm not terrified or worried, I'm just uncomfortable. And that's kind of what I want to briefly touch on today. How uncomfortable Jared Leto has made all of America, especially the cast and crew of Suicide Squad. Before the movie was released, all people could talk about was how method Jared had gone with his Joker. He's always in character. He's terrifying people on set. He sends rats to his co-stars.
I got so many weird things. I can't even begin to tell you the weird things I got.
What did you think?
I mean, by that point, I kind of felt like I knew the Joker a bit, so it wasn't as alarming. But yeah, there were many instances where I didn't know what to expect.
Alright, so he sent a rat to Margot Robbie. Everyone knows that. It was some huge, sensationalized headline trying to act like the movie was going to be amazing just because he sent her a rat. But now that the Joker movie has been released and we've actually seen what a good Joker portrayal looks like again, does anyone realize how fucking hilarious this whole thing is in hindsight? How Jared Leto made a complete ass of himself trying to portray the Joker by doing all these weird and crazy things on set and then ending up with this movie? Oh, sorry. Wrong movie. I get those mixed up.
You helped me by erasing my mind. You left me in a black hole of rage and confusion. Don't hurt me. I'll be your friend.
Wanna know how I got these scars? Well, I'm the Joker, baby!
And I have a theory for why he did all these weird things besides just trying to be a method actor. I think he wanted to do everything he could to be bigger than Heath. Obviously, there was a lot of behind the scenes buzz about Heath Ledger's Joker. So at the release of the movie, all people could talk about was how Ledger locked himself in a room for a month to train for the role, and how he was always in character on set and constantly sleep deprived. Now all this is true, and obviously contributed to the amazing performance we received. This movie stands as the best Batman film ever made, and it's because the villain is so iconic. So I believe Leto saw all these things and decided he wanted to be an icon too. The problem is that he let it all go to his head. He was acting like he nailed the part before filming had even begun, so he transcended it in this territory that was just cringe. A good example would be something like this. Leto made people call him Mr. J on set. He was always acting like the Joker, just doing weird and bizarre things. Heath always stayed in character too, but listen to what Aaron Eckhart had to say about working with him.
Just a really great guy. My one experience with Heath on the film was our scene together in the hospital bed, which is really my only scene with him. And well, I don't really have any lines. What am I gonna do? And I had no idea what was gonna happen. And Heath came around, and Heath was always in character. So he would come around and, you know, be talking to himself in the corner. And I'd watch him, and I would watch him. He'd walk around the hospital bed like this. I'd watch him. Didn't say anything for maybe an hour. And then all of a sudden my hand would go up like this, and he caught my hand. So we just went through this organic process of developing this scene, which was really nothing. And then when we came time to shoot, we had this thing beautifully choreographed, and you know, we never said a word to each other. And we walked out back to our trailers, and Heath was here, and I was walking, and he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he goes, "That's what acting's all about."
Just look at the amount of respect Heath had for Aaron, and how much Aaron in turn respected Heath. Do you think that sending rats and dead pigs to your co-stars commands respect for your acting craft, or do you think it's just some cheap thing to do because you know it'll be a headline on BuzzFeed?
Yeah. I mean, it was
Step back, Frank. You can't just say use condoms and we're just gonna like forget.
I know it's a family show, but we
Don't worry.
can educate people here. At least they were used.
Who did you send use condoms to?
Oh, everybody. Maybe they didn't want to tell you, but no. I mean, I did a lot of things to create a dynamic, to create an element.
There was one person on set Leto never played any weird pranks on, and that person was Viola Davis, the actor who played Amanda Waller. When Viola Davis was asked if she was the lucky recipient of one of Jared Leto's strange gifts, she said she was not. In fact, she added, "Or else I would have gotten my husband, who was called Headache Ball back in the day when he played football, and I would have said, take care of the Joker." Basically, this is saying that Davis looked at this as disrespectful, and someone probably told Leto not to mess with her, and he listened. And the rest of the cast? Well, the rest of the cast just bit their lip and hoped he wouldn't be asked to come back for a sequel. And he wasn't. The end. Just kidding. Then another Joker movie got made without Leto that was really good, and now everything about Leto's Joker has fallen apart because his performance was built on a house of cards.
Everybody gets to sit in the chair. Start with you.
I would go into his trailer and have a conversation with him, and I remember the first time that happened, I was pausing because I realized I was actually having a conversation with Mr. J and not necessarily Jared.
Ledger was still a human being. He cared more about acting and less about the fluff. Leto is nothing but fluff. There is no real method going on here that makes any sense. It's just craziness for the sake of craziness. And it's not just the bad script that ruined this movie. It's the fact they made this stupid fucking music video. It's the fact that they built this guy up as the craziest Joker ever, and it just ended up being hard to watch. But just look at the behind the scenes footage and it's even worse.
You dirty pervert. Oh my God. You people. What are you looking at? Shut up!
And the trailer for this movie was phenomenal. I could not wait to see this scene.
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
But this scene was just like part of a montage that had nothing to do with anything, which deflates the entire scene. You can't just have the Joker on screen saying, "I'm the Joker," and think that that's a good Joker. Think about how awkward it must have been for the crew to see Jared walking around pretending to be the Joker for 185 straight days of shooting and then getting this giant piece of garbage.
I am not someone who is loved. I'm an idea.
So without further ado, here are the top 7 ridiculous dumb stuff Jared Leto did trying to act like the Joker in the Suicide Squad movie. Number 1. He sent Killer Croc sticky Playboys. I don't really know why. This one is really weird and doesn't really make sense, but yeah, he did that. I'm not sure what they were sticky with. Number 2. Delivered a dead pig during rehearsal. Okay, hilarious. Just, yep, real funny. Funny joke you did there. Number 3. Mailed used condoms and anal beads to other actors. Wow, I really hope they weren't used because that's actually a sex crime. Number 4. Leto ordered actors Jim Perrick, who is playing Joker henchman Johnny Frost, to do things like spray paint black roses and gather 9-inch nails and handle dead animals. Dude, this guy's just an actor. He's not your personal assistant in real life for your weird shit. Number 5. Made everyone call him Mr. J on set. Gave himself his own nickname, one of those guys. Number 6. Gifted Will Smith some bullets. Alright, this one actually kind of makes sense since he's playing Deadshot. Kind of just a harmless prank, so get a pass on this one. Number 7. He gave Margot Robbie the rat. I mean, everyone knows that. I think that was actually the bigger story than anything in the movie. I mean, that was a better story than anything in the movie, really. Just recently, some shitty website called David Ayer out and said that he cut all Jared's scenes out of the movie because they sucked. And then some 12-year-old tweeted at David Ayer and said this: "The article says you were unhappy about his performance, so you cut him out? Why don't you clear this BS by your own words? You supported James Gunn, who shits on you in your movie, but not the actor who always plays you?" Ayer responded by saying this: "That is inaccurate information, not my words or actions." Honestly, I have no idea what to make of any of this. Who knows if it was David that cut all Leto's scenes or if it was WB, but it was obviously done because they had little faith in his performance, and for good reason. But honestly, Jared, maybe it wasn't your fault. You didn't write the script, but my feelings are you could have pointed out before taking the role that your character serves exactly zero purpose in the film, which is alarming. But whatever, not your fault. You're not the character designer. You didn't come up with the damaged tattoo or the crazy grill look. You certainly didn't edit yourself out of the movie, we know that. So yeah, we can't really blame you. But you can't really blame us for laughing at you. You thought you were a big shot Joker. You thought you were gonna wow all of America because you made a couple headlines about sending Margot Robbie a rat. Maybe you thought you were gonna top Ledger's performance, but you didn't. Not even close. All you did was just weird everyone out with your behind-the-scenes antics. So it's time for you to step down because this is a role that America needs filled for the rest of our lives now, apparently. And Phoenix's Joker was everything yours wanted to be. If this video does well, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about his performance, but for now, the only thing you need to know is that it is on par with Ledger's, and I think stands out as one of the two best Joker performances of all time. That is including live action and cartoons. And the reports that you tried to block that Joker being made has spread like wildfire, and has most likely pushed you out of the role permanently. How are they supposed to ask you to come back now after this mess? Maybe if you would have played it cool and been supportive, we could have lived in a world with two versions of the Joker on screen. One would be good and one would be crappy. But that's alright. Everyone prefers different flavors of ice cream too. But since you've been petty and unsupportive, and you can't seem to understand that your movie and portrayal sucked, I doubt we'll be seeing you as the Joker again. But honestly, who knows if you even want to come back? I mean, I would. It's the Joker. Who doesn't want to play him on screen? Immediately when you take the role, all eyes are on you, and you get the "I'm allowed to behave like a psycho weirdo" card, which you obviously loved using. But then again, there were zero reports of Joaquin Phoenix sending people dead rats, and look how his performance turned out. For now, it seems we've seen the end of Jared Leto's Joker. It's kind of funny how him and Batman never even met up. Probably a blessing in disguise. Unless you count this one terrible scene from the movie, but I don't know if this even counts. That's my thoughts on Jared Leto's Joker. He did a lot of super weird and inappropriate stuff, all for nothing, and only ended up looking like a petty jackass. Welcome to the club, Jared. See you next time, Janitor Squad.
Get back, go south, on my way to you, go south.